Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made-up word.
I can't begin to know when, but then I know its wreckers strong. Wasn't the Ord Mantell, and Ord Mantell became Ryloth. I can't keep it on 10, we know that. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, cloning me, cloning you. Oh, 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 sweet Rekka.
Bum, bum, bum.
Star Wars never seemed so good.
So good. So good.
I've been inclined
Bum, bum, bum.
to believe it never would, but now I start the Nerk.
You know, you started that off, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then you totally redeemed yourself. It took me a minute. I was like, what? I know this.
Well, it's you know it, but it's because I can't keep a tune, and we all know this.
When you said I can't keep the tune, it's like, okay, well, there's the reason. You got the head tilt. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's what it is.
Let's get this camera down a little bit here.
Bum, bum, bum.
There we go.
Now I want to go to karaoke.
I do too.
That's a great karaoke song.
We should do that soon.
Mhm.
Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are 230 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. You guys might know us or may want to find us, either one, online on the Twitch. Chris over there streams as Guyver UNT01, GUYVER UNT01. And I stream under KSIG, that's K_SIG. And you can usually find us every Saturday night at the very least. Roughly 8 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, give or take.
Doing indie horror games, and then our own personal schedules off and on throughout the week. So if you guys haven't checked that out, it's fun. Chris streams like a little bitch, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I do all the time.
It's a good time.
It is a good time. We try and play together a lot, but summer is my super busy time at work, so it has not been easy to stream lately. And you have to be with streaming, you have to be on also.
Yep.
Like you can't.
It's hard to keep a schedule.
Yeah. Well, and you can't be tired. You have to put on that smiley face.
Gotta put on the happy face.
You gotta put on the happy face. You don't want to be those streamers who like bitch.
Yeah.
You're not giving me money.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm gonna do it regardless. Not bitch, but like. I still might bitch a little bit. Not about that. I don't give a shit about
what are
that.
you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You're gonna have fun. But yeah, the chats there are usually a good time. They're fun. And if you guys aren't in the Discord either, those links are down in the bio, and there you'll find clips from us doing that. You'll find stuff about the podcast. It's mainly for the podcast and the community. Other people that have ideas and things to share, other streamers as they're putting stuff out. Whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in there, so you guys be sure and join that.
Okay. So we are back at episode 13 of the Bad Batch, called Infested. You would think that is a wound.
Yeah, something that should be looked at. Maybe
well, technically, I guess this would be kind of like a wound that should be looked at.
It is.
Ooh,
it is.
Spooky.
We all learned a valuable lesson that day.
We don't stick your finger in it.
More than once.
More than once. Like, if you scream too loud, people will wonder what you're doing.
What did Props say last night when we were ghost hunting on Ghost Hunting Corps? Like, you ran out the front door, I ran out the back door. Any door's an entrance if you're adventurous.
Oh yeah, that's right. Which that was a brilliant line. So bravo to Props.
Bravo to Props.
And then Chof last night. Chof. Haha, Chof is the last one alive.
A lot.
A lot. How does that happen?
He's
How
good
did
at
that
that.
happen last
He's
time?
good at that game.
He is really good at that
Has
game.
he been practicing without us, or does he
I
just like
guarantee you he has?
wait until we're all dead and he's like, I'll go, I'll be the savior.
You know, have you noticed he hangs around in the van a lot when
He
we're
does.
inside?
Yep. That's what happens.
Even if that's not true, that's what we're saying.
Yep. It's out on the internet now. It has to be true.
It's true. So Infested, let's start the episode. So this one acts like a filler episode.
It does.
I don't think it's a filler episode, though. I think this is setting it up for the final 3 episodes. I think that something big's going to happen. Because why would you put a filler episode just before the last 3?
We were talking about this a little bit before the show, and you brought up that point because I felt fine. My thoughts on it flip flop. Like early on, mid episode. Okay, let me go back to it. Beginning of the episode, it felt very filler-ish. This is like, oh, we got another fetch quest thing going. Then mid episode, we kind of got a little bit
trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah. Then midway through, we got the new characters introduced and this whole new dynamic that's going on. I was like, oh, now we're setting up for an arc. Like this sets up for another, 2 to 3 episode arc to wrap things up. And then the end of the episode, I was like, okay, they could have wrapped it up there. And there was nothing else. There was nothing going on from the Empire through this whole episode. There was nothing from, so.
Nothing definitive.
Nothing definitive. So I'm 50-50. It's like, it could be filler. It could be setting up stuff that's going to happen next season. It would be a weird setup for a final arc unless something crosses over with all the parties involved and the Empire getting involved, because the Empire wasn't involved with anything this time around. So
actually, they weren't, were they?
No, and you would think that the final push for the end of the season is going to be Empire heavy with Crosshair and all that, and there was no mention of, there was none of that in this episode.
I'm holding out that this is setting up for something.
Me too.
I'm confident this isn't the last we're going to see of Roland.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. And when we'll talk about him when he comes up, but he was potentially an interesting character. And we kind of thought this, or I thought the same thing about Sid when we first saw her. Then I was like, okay, well, this will be it, and I was totally wrong. You were totally
now
right.
She's on episode 13.
Now she's in all of the episodes.
So
I don't know. I'm curious to see how they're going to push it. We only have 2 left this season, so.
All right, so let's hit the play button.
Let's do it.
Infested.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, if you've never watched or listened before, we do go through and we're doing the watch together thing on Disney Plus, group watch, right? Whatever it's called.
Group watch.
I always get it wrong, but we kind of go through these episodes and anything that we
Disney
do.
orgy.
A dorgy.
A dorgy.
And we go through these like scene by scene, and we look for little Easter eggs and things. This is our chance to watch it together and talk about it together. Like we watch it once before we come in here, then we watch it together as we're doing this, and we break it down, and we'll give timestamps and things out for you guys. So it'll typically run a little longer than the episode of the source material. So buckle up for that.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Like Kyle said, I don't know. I can't expand on that. I thought I had something brilliant, then I lost it.
I went on too long.
No, you're fine. I just literally lost it because I was staring at the screen. I'm like, this is a really pretty scene.
It is.
Does it look like an old Russian palace?
Yeah, I can see that.
What is that? Was it the Kremlin? Maybe.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure, but possibly.
I don't know, but we said it before, the animation's just getting so good.
The extent of my knowledge of Russian architecture comes from Tetris game covers. So
do 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 do. Tetris. I love Tetris. Okay. We see a shuttle coming in, and it's a modified Omicron attack shuttle, so we know it's the boys and Omega.
Yep.
They're
The
landing.
fam's here. The whole family's here.
The fam's here. They're coming out and they're saying, you know, Sid better pay us extra for that mission. And of course, Wrecker's like, it wasn't so bad.
So you think they did that to show that some time has passed since the last episode?
Yeah, I think they did. They said, you know, she also did mention that the loading zone was filled with gundarks. Kyle, what's a gundark?
A gundark is they're often used as a metaphor to indicate something dangerous.
So this was it's actually a large creature native to the planet Vancor, I think it was.
Yeah, Vanqor.
All right, right. And they were mentioned in the Empire Strikes Back for the first time, if you believe it or not. And the phrase was "look strong enough to pull the ears off a gundark." And then they actually showed them in the Clone Wars TV series.
Do you remember what they looked like?
Oh no, it was explained in Attack of the Clones. No, I don't remember what they look like at all.
Let's see if I can kind of take a
Take a gander.
They're like a giant ogre looking. They look like they could be in World of Warcraft.
They do, don't they?
Yeah. Look very WoW like wow. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
They're in the
okay. They are kind of awesome looking. They look like they're ogre-y, like
they're like
giant goblins.
Okay. So like kind of looking at it here. Oh, okay. So they were talking about Gundark. So looking at you're looking at the images of it, right?
Right.
And it has this like maybe you could see it in Doom. Like I don't know, it looks like a Doom version of
in the desert
of a giant bunny, because it's got like it's probably like feathers, and they have big teeth, the little pointy ears on the top.
Have you seen Troll Hunter?
Almost look like horns. I have not. But I think I got a thing here. Because like they got an interesting color palette. Like all the ones I'm seeing, they're like a really like of a crimson, like bloody color almost.
Right.
Most of them. And so that really makes me think that wherever where did they go?
Shit. Yeah, go ahead. I know where this is now. You had me for a second. Then
I went on too long. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, you went on too long. If you would have ended it about 3 seconds before.
I was trying not to lean into it too heavy, and I leaned into it too heavy.
No, you had me because I'm looking at this. I'm just really I'm like, yeah, it's red. It's red, right? It's red.
That one was too obvious. That one was too obvious. Son of a bitch. Okay,
you went on too long.
8 for 9 now.
I'm glad I could be a part of that. Okay, so they're walking
next time.
Yeah, you probably will. And they're like, it's not the first time Sid's left out key details, and you know this is like normal for them. And then all of a sudden, they're walking in, and you see like 3 guys dressed in the same armor, same helmet, looking at them.
This is cool armor, though.
It is cool armor.
I've never seen it anywhere before. Have you seen it before?
So it kind of looks like the armor that they wore in Solo, and then in I think in the Clone Wars there was one. I wish Coda was here today.
It was familiar.
It was familiar, but I couldn't place it. I'll put it that way.
Here's the thing: like a lot of these suits of armor, I guess we can call them suits of armor, like this that you see in the Star Wars universe. Like a lot of this armor has it's all across the galaxy, a fairly similar feel. When you're like in this big plate armor, like from your stormtroopers to these guys, to even some of your bounty hunters and there's like a similar feel to it. So I think maybe that's why it seems familiar.
Yeah, you could be right.
Like there's some cool, unique armor, but everything seems like it's,
all cut from the same mold,
within a few degrees variance of whatever everybody else is wearing.
7 degrees to Mandalorian armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're Kevin Baconing their personal defenses. Armor. Yeah,
they're Kevin Baconing it.
Yeah.
They walk in and Sid's bar is just packed, and Echo goes, when did this place get so popular? And Pick's like, who are they? And Hunter's like, yeah, it's not our problem. Let's find Sid. They're walking towards Sid's office, and out walks 2 aliens,
Shark people,
Shark people. They're walking out with these lanky bodies, long arms, and tiny heads. Looks like lead suits. Who, those of us who have watched Clone Wars know that these are the Pikes, the Pike syndicates. They were
Throwing a little
also
shade
in
at me there.
Solo too. What?
For those of us that watched the original source material,
I'm not. It's not throwing shade at you. I'm just saying that's where we know them from.
actually, we watched all the. No,
Actually, we watched them all because most of us didn't get dates when we were younger, so we know they're the Pikes.
not all of us had cable
I didn't have cable. I had the internet.
or internet. I had rabbit ears after college and just took to a digital converter. Yeah, it was good times.
Did you make Frank hold those up?
Nope, should have though.
You
We had
should've.
Dish then.
Does he even listen to this?
I think so.
If he does, then Frank, you can say something, but he's not in our Discord. Get in there, Frank.
It'd be nice to have him in there
It'd
or
be
on
nice.
the show. We got to have him for the conspiracy show.
Okay, cool. Well, get him on. Get him part of it.
Yep.
We see the Pikes heading out. They were also in Solo. That was the facility that they were at mining the spice.
Oh,
yeah. The masked guard goes, where do you think you're going? And all of a sudden the guard's down on the ground. And Hunter walks in. These guards pull up blasters and in Clone Force 99 all pulls their blasters out at the same time.
Mhm.
And this alien who we've seen the first time, not this guy, but the species was first introduced in A New Hope in the bar. They are, what are they called? Devorians.
Devorians, yeah.
They're the ones who look like what you would think of as a traditional devil. The ones with the horns and like like just kind of the evil looking eyes and the sharp teeth.
And the guy we saw the species. It was in the cantina scene, right?
Right.
Was he a different shade, like different color?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was like more purplish for some reason. I had to think back.
This guy's a little bit lighter, but for the most part, he's about the same color.
Okay. I was thinking there was like a purple tinted variant of this species.
I
somewhere.
think there is. I think we've seen them earlier in the Bad Batch. I have to go back and re-reference it, but I think you're right. This guy goes, it's rude to butt into one's office unannounced. And he's sitting there just petting his poopsie. Hunter goes, "This isn't your office." And the guy, the Durian goes, "Guess again." And Omega points out, he's petting this little thing. And she goes, Omega goes, "Ruby, where did we see Ruby from before?"
That's what was Ruby with Sid?
I think she might have been with Sid.
I'm trying to remember because this made me feel like I should remember Ruby. I don't really remember Ruby much.
You want to Google that real quick while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
So she goes, the Durian goes, "She's my prize pet." And Omega's like, "What are you doing with her?" And he said, "I paid, Sid delivered." Oh, maybe that's where it's from. They had to go capture for him. Capture Ruby.
Yeah. Oh, episode 7 rescued a lizard named Ruby. Wait, what? Hold on here. Yeah, they had to rescue a lizard named Ruby. Oh, so he was the real. Okay, here we go. So back in episode 7 of the show, Clone Force 99 rescued a lizard named Ruby. Omega, in typical fashion, had grown attached to the creature who reciprocated the affection. In episode 13, to find Ruby's real owner has arrived. So that's from Fansided.
So Ruby got away. Okay.
Well, they rescued Ruby probably in some off-screen mission. Maybe.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Possibly. That's what I'm getting out of that. I'll have to go back and rewatch episode 7, I think.
They go, "Where's Sid?" And this guy goes, "Sid's out. This parlor and Ord Mantell are now my territory." but if you're looking for work, I might have use for you. And Hunter's like, yeah, we're good. We'll think about it. And the guy just smirks and goes, you do that. He walks out, and then Hunter makes the decision. We're getting off here. Tech prep the ship. You guys, we'll go look for supplies. And Omega's like, what does she mean that Sid's out? And, Tech being Tech's like, given his tone, it's plausible assumption that Sid was either forced out or taken out. So Sid was either, just forced out of her bar or killed.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
then Omega stuck.
They were trying to keep it kind of low key to save Omega a little bit. And then Tech's like, actually, as a matter of fact, I believe
Tech.
Yeah.
Tech has no diplomacy. Omega's like, we got to help Sid. And then we hear this voice inside their ship, and there's Sid just leaning up against it. Says, nice to see one of you cares. Inside now.
Hey, fellas.
She's still giving them orders. And inside the ship on Gonki, you see the only 2 patrons she ever has in the bar playing cards on top of him.
Yeah. Well, Gonki's serving a purpose. Good for Gonki.
Good for Gonki. And Sid's like, this guy's a former client and the son of a crime boss, and son of crime boss Issa Durand. Have we heard that name before? I don't think we have.
Nope. I don't know. Let's see if I can find some stuff on him. Keep going. I'll do my research.
And Roland's trying to make a name for himself by joining up with the Pykes, which I said before, the Pyke Syndicate, you don't want to do. And she said, why here? And the port's connected to multiple hyperspace routes, ideas for smuggling. So that's why we know why, and her parlor's right in the middle of it. That's why we know Sid is in the middle of everything.
So
because
Issa Durand also never, like, this is the first
new character
appearance. And we hear him, Roland talking about his mom later. That's his mom. Issa's mom. Issa's
his mom. Okay.
Yeah. That's his mother.
His mother. So she's like, Sid's like, we got to get my place back. And Hunter's like, and Sid just plainly puts it, if I lose, you lose. Don't forget about how good I've been at keeping secrets. And Tech, being Tech, I believe she's threatening us. And she's like, you're quick. And Omega's like, well, we need to help her. When we needed help, she was there for us. Now she needs help. We can't walk away. And she's like, you tell him, Tiny. And she, convinces get her, girl. She convinces the rest of the Clone Force 99 to do it. So I think it's interesting how Sid threatened him too. It's like, I haven't told anyone about you, so you're gonna do this.
Yeah, I like that she threatens them, and then Omega's like, she helped us before, now we have to help her. Like, she's blackmailing you right now. But whatever.
Whatever, fine.
Omega hasn't learned that yet.
Who cares? Next thing you know, we see Sid walking with a badge, and she's like, her informant tells her that Roland's got a buyer coming tonight, and the shipment of spice in the back office, and the Pykes are basically coming to get it. And so she wants to go steal the spice, so it goes bad. If you remember, spice was being harvested in, again, Solo. Where else have we heard spice from?
It came up in the original trilogy, I thought. Let's see here.
But you and I were talking about this earlier. Like, usually when I think of spice, the first thing I think of is a certain movie franchise or book series.
Oh, you're thinking of Dune.
That's usually what I think of.
Wasn't it also in
the spice?
Was it in Skyrim, or no? That was Skooma. Wasn't spice also illegal somewhere in the Elder Scrolls? Something or another. I know Skooma was, but like, it was introduced in New Hope because that's what Solo owed to Jabba.
Yep, it was the spice.
He'll get his money. Tell him he'll get his money.
Tell Jabba he'll get his money. So basically, Sid's plan is to make it so Roland can't deliver the spice, and then the Pykes will be after him. So Sid's like, I get what I want. She finds this little manhole, opens it up, and she goes, "Start climbing, tough guys." They go down into the underbelly of Ord Mantell.
Yeah. Trying to overthrow super positive Devornian Roland Duran.
Well, I don't think he's super positive, though. She said, this what's underground is the old mining of Ord Mantell. And where is it? What she says here? We use the carts and to get over there, and Tech's like, they're not in the best shape, but I can get the motors operational. And Sid goes, no, motors are too loud. This is a stealth mission. You guys are good at this. She's like, Tiny Goggles, you're with me. I love how she doesn't call anyone by their name.
Yeah. Now, remind me later in the episode when we get to seeing the carts again.
Mm-hmm.
I made a very weird connection to some other things, and if I don't think about it now, I'll forget. But there's something that I have that may be good for this.
These are like the old mine carts that had like little levers, the pump levers. Except one person does it. Well, no, it's got two, but
it's got two, but nobody's helping.
No, they have Sid and Wrecker doing it.
Yeah.
Finally get where they're supposed to.
Physically strongest. Sid's pretty stout.
Her species is very stout. They're strong.
She pulls some Yoda stuff every now and then, because you'll see her, she'll do something like that, like doing that and being all like badass and strong or whatever, and then she'll get back on her little walking stick and clank, clank, clank.
Clank, clank. Like she's an old lady, but she's not. She's like, you guys got to be careful when we're here, because these caverns have a slight infestation problem. And it starts to make sense now why it's called infested.
And we have a title.
And Wrecker goes, we're not afraid of a few bugs. And Sid's like, it won't be a problem if you shut the hell up.
Shut your freaking trap, Wrecker.
Shut your trap, Wrecker. So she's like, big guy, get the door. Wrecker opens it for him. And they start, now they're gone to under Sid's office. But then in the middle of this cavern, like Grand Central Station, is like you see all these webs everywhere. It's huge.
Old abandoned mining operation. It's cool looking.
I mean, us just saying it's huge don't begin to do this justice, how big they made this on the scale.
Yeah.
And then we hear some wings flapping, and Wrecker gets spooked because, he's up high and he doesn't like it, drops his flashlight.
Because that's what he does.
That's what he does.
At least he didn't fall.
No. And Sid's like, what did I say? And Wrecker's like, it was an accident. And then you start hearing this screeching. And they're just, they got the flashlights down there. And they're just sitting there. If it was me, I'd keep going.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder what that sound of death was. Let's stop and observe it.
But then you hear everything stops. And they're like, okay, we're good. Let's go. It's like, no, Hunter, if you were a good leader, I would have been going the whole time. Be like,
yeah,
screw you guys.
Paddle faster.
Faster. So they're moving along. Next thing you know, they're under Sid's office and they get in. We're waiting for this to catch up to us.
Yeah, I'm caught up with you here. So like we know, she's a smuggler.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna have secret tunnels. She's gonna have different ways, ins and outs of things, and so her back office is literally behind her office. But they said, they need to make sure that Roland's distracted. So she pages her White Walker friend.
Who's eating?
Mantell mix.
Mantell mix.
He's like intimidating looking. We find out later he's not so much.
Nope. Well, he's the same species as Hondo.
Yeah.
And he starts dropping the Mantell mix, and Ruby's like, wee, 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 wee.
Ruby's a cool looking whatever Ruby is.
Looks like an armadillo, or it's like that South American armadillos.
Oh yeah,
very distinctive looking.
Fun fact: my nephew can't say armadillo; he calls them armadillos.
And you don't try and stop him, do you?
No, you get a kid saying something like that, you don't correct him. Like, just go with it.
No,
because they're going to cover it like sometime in school. Like, oh, animals of the Southwest. Does anybody know what this is? And he's going to have his hand up waving. I know. It's an armadillo.
Does he go, my mom has lots of those. So next thing you know, Ruby's over there and they catch Slugface and Wrinklebottom catch Ruby.
Slugface and Wrinklebottom.
And we see Clone Force 99 going through this little hole in Sid's office. And like they have these giant rats everywhere, which is kind of gross. They're like, oh, we thought Wrecker was a slob. And Sid's yelling at him, just go get my shit.
Mm-hmm. So they open up the crate and scans it. And
All 6 crates.
Yep. Space cocaine. So
it's a hell of a drug.
Mm-hmm.
You think Wrecker's going to get high off and be like, fuck y'all shuttle.
Just kicking his boots around.
Yeah. They notice that Roland notices that Ruby's gone and they're like, she's nowhere to be found. And like, keep looking. And Ruby's making a lot of noise and Ruby's just kind of growling at him and they run off and Roland hears it. So Slugface and Wrinklebottom just run off.
Runs off in his turtleneck onesie thing. I can't get over
best
that
outfit ever.
I can't get over that. I'm hoping we see some action figures of these 2 characters though.
And they call him Slugface and Wrinklebottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Roland grabs his little poopsie and is like, you know, scratching its belly. Ruby. And flash fact, same sounds that Kyle makes if he scratches belly.
It is. It is.
And Roland, they're
Easily
walking back
pacified, chubby guy.
It's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, don't worry. You know, basically he's talking to Ruby. Daddy will find those 2 and kill them. They lock the office. Dad'ems will take care of it. The Clone Force 99 locks the office. His guards can't get in. Roland pushes him out of the way and just shoots the locking mechanism.
I don't know who's making these locking mechanisms in the galaxy, but by now you think they would have figured out that, hey, we have a flaw. People can shoot these and they open. Like it happens a lot.
Yeah.
It's really not a really good lock because everybody apparently knows that's how you open them.
You think after 40 years they would redesign it?
Yeah. Nope. Still cranking them out. Speaking of cranking, now they're cranking those mine carts across the chasm.
Comes the meat wagon.
Perfect timing. Roland's guard is in pursuit. This right here. Okay.
I like this.
So we have multiple. Here's pausing where I made my connection. Does this scene remind you of anything?
Indiana Jones?
Mm-hmm. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. Yeah, where they're in the mine carts.
They're in the mine carts.
Both done by Lucasfilms, by the way.
Both starring
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford was also, obviously Star Wars.
And Data.
And Data.
Short Round.
But when we first saw Solo in A New Hope, he was in trouble for losing a shipment of
spice. Oh, just the tip, touching tips.
Connect the dots.
Touching the tips.
This cannot be a coincidental thing. They're just, they can't be. It can't be. Can it?
No.
It can't be. I'm sticking with it that we've got something that, I'm going to see if anybody else has thought of this.
I wonder if we'll see Han at any point here.
That would be so cool.
Because this is right around the time period, Well, no. I think we figured out that the Empire was around for like 30, 40 years before that or after this. Something like that.
Yeah, he'd been around. I'm trying to see if anybody's thought of this.
If not, bravo. Great job. It's just your typical minecart fight scene where they're, they make them crash into each other. And she's like, if those laser brains woke the hive, we're all dead. And then you hear this screeching. And they get back into the main part with all the webs.
Mhm.
And Omega's looking down, and she's like, "Sid, I don't like this." And Sid's looking down, and Sid doesn't say a word. Sid's always got something to say, so you know it's bad.
This would have been a perfect time for somebody to say that they have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad. Yes, it would have.
I'm sorely missing that line through this show.
They should have done it.
That's a thing. That's like always a thing.
But then
And-
all of a sudden, you see
Oh, yeah.
millions of these
Millions.
insects popping up. These flying insects.
Kind of reminds me of that scene from Wreck-It Ralph when he's in the shooter game. And all
Oh
the
yeah,
bugs.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like the battle, like the what would that be equivalent to?
Not sure.
I don't know.
Also a little Starship Troopers esque.
Completely. But they figure out real quick that they don't like the light. These bugs do not like the lights, and they
Mhm.
avoid it.
Yeah.
Which would make sense. They live because they live in a cavern.
Yeah. That's probably why when he dropped the flashlight that they didn't come out originally.
Yeah, that's true too. And then these things start getting the spice. They're not getting the people, but they're getting the spice. And they knock their little mining cart, one of the mining carts off. And Echo's like, forget the spice, let's go. You know, they're just trying to get out of there with their lives at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so they made it to the door. Wrecker shuts it and squishes one of them, and the sickening green pus comes out.
Ew.
I got the goo on me.
Mm-hmm.
And Omega's like, well, at least we got rid of the spice, right? And Sid just gives this look to Tech. And they go off. And you see one of those bugs just kind of twitching on the ground.
And I got Roland clutching his pearls.
But
It's been
that's a big problem in this universe.
good. What would we say? Squishy bottom and wrinkle face? No. What'd you call him?
Slug face and wrinkle bottom.
Slug face and wrinkle bottom, not squishy bottom and slug face. Okay, yeah. Pleading for their life. Like they ratted Sid out. I want to see how that plays out.
Exactly. So, flash fact: the guy who plays Roland's voice, I've heard his voice somewhere before, and he does a lot of voiceover work. But he was Ryder, the main character in Mass Effect Andromeda. So I'm like, oh, that's where I knew his voice from.
Chris, big Mass Effect guy.
I love Mass Effect. It's probably one of my favorite series.
Hmm.
Trying to get Kyle into it.
I'm getting a little bit at a time. A little bit.
Have you played any of the single player yet?
No, I just did what we did with multiplayer.
Did you? The single player is where it's at. Because they
Sure, we-
actually do such a great job.
So getting a good look at the Pikes as they come in. They're very like stingray looking front
Oh
on.
yeah, I guess they are, aren't they?
Like that's
Helmets.
their helmets. That's what I get a real stingray vibe from them.
I get a very Egyptian vibe from them,
Ooh, yeah.
like the tut mask and just kind of the way it looks like. Almost they're almost wearing capes.
Mhm.
They're not, but just the way it looks.
It's a cool look. It's very interesting.
I like the Pikes. Pikes are some of my favorite villains. The Pike
Species.
Syndicate.
Mhm.
And the leader of the Pikes, I know his voice somewhere before too. I just can't figure out from where. Actually, I'm going to look that up. You go on from here while I'm looking that part up.
Okay, so here's the Pikes are making good on their thread. They're like, you screwed up. This is what we're seeing right now in this cartoon is a drug deal gone bad, 100%. They start to threaten Roland, and he's like, I said get your money. Suggest you go back to Obadiah and wait. And they're not even phased. Like they've got guns pulled on them, everything, not even flinching. They're letting Roland. I like how he worded this. Like usually you hear somebody say you're out of your element and you're stepping, you're over your head, whatever. He goes, you are out of your depth, Duran. I like that line a lot. That was like such a cool line.
Well,
Basically telling him, like, you're either going to fix this or you and your entire family will experience what pain truly feels like.
Well, and here's the thing about that too. There's no emotion in that voice. It's very it's matter of factly.
Yeah. And we kind of catch that later too, because Sid brings it up later, like reiterating what he says here, that we're gonna wish we were dead after what they're gonna do. So it's they must be masters of torture. They're not gonna kill you. They're gonna make you suffer and suffer some more and suffer some more until you wish you were dead. Don't screw us over. Very
Okay, so
intimidating.
I think his name is Liam O'Brien.
His
He's
name sounds
Bolo the
familiar.
Pyke. I guarantee you he's done anime work that we've heard of.
Liam O'Brien. That's not the Liam off of oh, never mind. I was thinking that Liam was the name of the character.
No, I'm trying to find it, but it's going IMDb's going slow. Keep going. I'm looking this up because this is gonna bug me till I figure it out.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's the Liam from
Final Fantasy Advent Children.
Critical Role.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why we know him.
Yep. There it is. He's such a good voice actor.
Also in Ashura's Wrath as Ashura. Final Fantasy, he's Red 12 or Red 13.
He's done a few voices already on this show.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember what.
He does the voice of Bolo. Who's Bolo?
Bolo's. Which one's Bolo? But he's the Pyke. That's
Bolo.
right. That's where you're from.
Oh,
he's
Bolo
Zod in DC Superhero Girls.
Dang it. Bolo's the one with the turtleneck onesie.
Oh, Slugface.
Slugface.
He's also Zod in DC Superhero Girls. He was in.
Because we talked about him earlier in the series. I remember the character Rainey. And we're like, man, Rainey sounds familiar. He did the voice of that. He's been in Tactical Droid. He was a scrapper. He's done several voices on here.
He's also, that's where else I know him. He plays Doctor Strange in all the animated series stuff.
Oh,
Avengers Assemble.
Super
Spider-Man.
talented.
Oh, he is. He's great. He was in Mobile Suit Gundam, the new one. That's where else I know him from. He's Gaara from Naruto.
There you go.
It's that gravelly voice. That's where I know him from mostly. Okay. I'm good now. I'm good. Okay, so where are we?
I don't know. With a rabbit hole.
Like
a good rabbit hole though. Anytime, like especially with voice actors, I love. Oh yeah, now they talk Bolo and Catch. I love when we find this. And we've talked about this off show a lot. There was a documentary on Netflix called "I Know That Voice."
Yep.
And it talks about what we just had happen. Like, I know I've heard that before. I've heard it before. I know I've heard that guy. And it's a really cool documentary if you guys haven't watched it, about voice acting. And there's a lot of interviews with the actors on there and like how they do what they do. And, there's certain styles and why certain ones are more recognizable than the others, and the ones that can really change their voice where you have no idea what they were doing. But I like it a lot. John DiMaggio is like my favorite voice actor, and he's on there quite a bit. But yeah, so there's that.
So this kind of makes me sad when you were talking about this too. So Kyle and I had a good buddy of ours who was supposed to be on the show just before we started this.
Mm-hmm.
And named Brad. Brad was he was getting to be a pretty well-known voice actor in the community. Like, he did a lot of big stuff.
Yeah, I think he was very well known within the community itself. Yeah, and again, to be more well known mainstream to fans.
Right. And Brad literally sadly passed just before our first episode.
Like 2 weeks before?
Yeah, just died in his sleep. So it just kind of hit me when we were talking about that. So now that I've sufficiently brought down the tone of the show, let's go on to some happy stuff of how Sid's getting her office back.
Yeah. How Sid got her office back.
That's like what they should have titled. Got her group back. How Sid got her office back.
We got our episode title.
Okay.
How Sid got her parlor back.
I got to write that down.
Or how Sid got her groove back. You can go with whatever.
No, how Sid got her office back. I like that one.
Yeah.
How Sid got her
How
office
Sid
back.
got office back.
So I think for this one, I need to take a picture of how Stella got her groove back and just put Sid's face on it.
Do it. You're better at the photoshopping things than I am.
So, oh, for those of you listening, go back and so we're recording this on a Sunday, but you know this one will come out on a Wednesday, and the one coming out tomorrow is the final Loki episode.
Mhm.
We got a great cover for that one.
Yep.
So go check it out.
Check out Chris's crack shot Photoshop skills.
Shit, I'm not that good. They're just funny. I just come up with good ideas sometimes.
The wonkier
Once in
the
a while, I
better.
have a good one. So Sid's, they're like, Sid's go, come on, let's go to my office. And they're like, aren't you afraid that Roland's going to be there? And she goes, I told you, the Pykes will take care of this for us. I told you they don't take kindly to unpaid debts. And they're walking to her bar, and there's lots of dead guards around. Roland's dead guards.
They had a hell of a party.
They did.
Look at all these guys taking naps.
Yes, naps.
They're all napping.
So it's like, see, I told you. Then all of a sudden you see Roland coming out, and then the Pykes are pushing him out. He's in handcuffs, and Roland goes, see, that's her. That's the one you want. And it's like, the Pyke goes, it's come to my attention that you have stolen our shipment of spice. Return it to us, and we will consider this issue resolved. It's not, he's not saying, or else. It's just like, give us our stuff. We're done.
Yeah.
And Sid's denying it. She's like, we don't have any spice. And the Pyke goes, kill them. And then Hunter's like, whoa. We don't have the spice on us. We know where it is.
Wait a minute.
And then the Pyke goes, my patience is wearing thin. If you know where the spice is, then you should have no problem retrieving it. Till you do, the child stays here. And then the batch pulls their guns, and Sid's like, Hunter's like, not happening. And the Pyke goes, you misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. He's just so cool the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And Sid's like, if I may.
Okay. So at this point, I was halfway expecting Sid to go up and do something very Sid-like and like try to talk to him like she does, like walk up and kind of flick him on his little tendril hanging down. Listen, guy, listen. Then be like, don't flick my tendril.
He's like, listen, tiny face. She calls him about how she sees him. Listen, tiny face.
Listen here, stingray butt.
Stingray butt. You go, I see your face is tiny. What else is tiny down there?
Yeah. Oh, crap. I was about to bring up the point that we haven't made a dick joke the entire episode. And there it is. It's not an EGTN episode unless we make a dick joke.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys next week.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. We're going.
If you guys don't realize, Kyle and I have a lot of fun doing these.
Also, we make a lot of dick jokes. If you didn't catch on, lots of just everywhere dicks.
Because we're 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Sid's just basically telling them, listen, dickweeds. I mean, is that what you got from this?
I wasn't ready.
But isn't that what you got from her tone on this?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, dickweeds. I told you, you don't fuck with the Pykes.
Listen here, narc.
Listen here, narc. Maybe that should be the title. Hey, dickweeds, how Sid got her office back. She puts her hand on Hunter's arm to lower his gun. She tells him, the Pykes are not someone you want to make enemies with. And Wrecker's like, we can't leave Omega. And then Sid tells him, we don't have a choice. We have to get the spice. And once we return it, Omega will be fine. And they call them tarot creatures, if you notice, too, like pterodactyls. And then they figure out, they're nocturnal insects, don't like the light. And then Sid says, Muscles and I will rappel down into the cavern and locate the crates.
The rest of you dickweeds were right here. And
yeah, come on, dickweeds.
God, I want that to happen so bad now. But she just calls them all dickweeds.
Oh, maybe that should be, this right here should be the picture too. Oh, Erica's streaming right now, by the way.
Oh, cool.
If you want to check out her stream. after this. This might be, hold on, I'm gonna send you this picture. This might be a good one for how Sid got her office back. Or I might just cut out her face. I think that'd be hilarious. So Sid, there's two interesting things about this. Sid saying, I got the kid into this mess and I'll get her out, which shows she's got a soft spot for Omega.
Mhm.
And also, if you notice, she said, Muscles and I will rappel down to get this, showing how strong Sid actually is.
She works out.
She does work out, even though she's tiny with the, like you said, with the staff.
Little baby arms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see what you sent me here. Yep, that's a good one.
It's
That'll
not a
do.
dick pic.
It's, well, not that one. Still early.
It's still early in the day, and it's Sunday. And the third thing on this is Wrecker does not like heights. Wrecker does not like to rappel down. So, but notice he didn't say a word where normally he would be groaning, going, oh, he knows Omega's in danger. That just shows how much Omega means to the, to the force, to the squad. Just really interesting to me.
Mhm.
So they get off.
Get their
the
handy
ship
dandy
and-
repelling gear. Get their safety. I like how they have their safety vests. Like their harnesses are like safety orange. Like you'd see them on some highway
Crossing
crew.
guard
Yeah.
or the safety patrol.
Yep. Move along.
Move along. Nothing to see here. And they're rappelling down while the ship's, up top.
Mhm.
And I believe, wasn't Wrecker just groaning at this part because he was scared?
He's fighting through it. He's really facing his fears.
And if you realize, again, it's for Omega.
Mhm.
It's definitely for Omega. So they're searching along in the cavern for the crates of spice. And then something cracks. And, you hear this screech. And then Wrecker, the loudest of all of them, he whispers, found one. He found one of the crates. So they attach it up and get it pulled up. And, like Sid just pushed him out of the way. She's like, start looking for the other crates quietly. And they pull the first crate up. And here's the detail they're pulling on this. Did you notice the little individual strands going off?
Mhm. Yep.
Just really cool. We're back in the bar. We see Roland down in handcuffs still next to Omega. Look at his face.
That's not a bad cover either.
No, what the? We could make this a multi-cover.
Yeah, we can do lots of things with it. We can do all the things.
Ugh. Oh, when Sid's trying to get her office back in her sexy pose, that's Roland's face. So Omega's looking at the blaster that's laying there, and Roland tells her, don't, they'll kill you.
Yep.
Because, Omega's going to try something. And he's like, if your friends don't return the spice, we're both dead. And that's what happens when you meddle in other people's business. And Omega's like, us, you're the one who took the parlor, you
Dick.
dickhead. You dick.
Dickweed.
Dickweed. He's like, it's the Durian way to take what you want. And my mother's perfected this. And she's like, Omega, your mother's a criminal too? And he's like, you make it seem undignified.
His
He just
space
kinda
cowboy
laughing.
boots.
Space cowboy boots. He's
Look
like,
at 'em.
if she could see me now. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
You think he's like one of those rich kids who wants to be like a cowboy? You know what I mean? So they'll buy all the gear.
You think he's, I don't know. Maybe he gets them from some guy named Maurice. That some people call him a
Space cowboy?
space cowboy. Yeah.
That was a good one.
And some people call him Maurice.
Maurice.
Those are 100% space cowboy boots.
They really
Look
are.
at the bottom of them. I know a cowboy boot when I see it.
They really
And
are.
that's what that is.
You sure they're not space Uggs? Suggs? I mean, it kind of looks like it.
Okay, rocking his Suggs.
His Suggs. But I think you're right. I think they're space cowboy boots.
Space boots with the fur.
Boots with the fur.
All right.
Um,
Carry on.
Carry on. Omega. Ruby comes up to Omega, and Omega.
This isn't the footwear you're looking for.
Or is it?
Or is it? It might be. Go see Maurice.
Go
He'll
see
hook you up.
Maurice. And it all comes full circle.
Yep.
Ruby's just happy as can be with Omega petting her, and Roland goes, Ruby doesn't take a liking to many people. You know, he's just kind of impressed that she likes her. And Omega's like, don't worry, Ruby. We'll get it out of here. Next thing you know, we see the crates coming up, 2 more crates.
Yeah. And you know this is just going to go off without a hitch. It's going to go so smooth.
Oh, 100%.
No problems. Yeah.
This is Star Wars. Nothing ever happens.
They'll get the spice back up. Everybody's going to shake hands, shake tendrils, whatever, and then go about their merry way. See each other at the oh crap, what's the Star Wars version of Christmas? They had the holiday special. They call it something.
Oh, what is? I tried to block that out.
Shit, I can't think of what it is now. I had a thing, now I don't have the thing.
Star Hanukkah?
Put on your star yarmulke.
Here comes Star Hanukkah.
Star Hanukkah.
It's Star Shabbat.
Drink your space gin and tonica.
And have your Wookiee Wanaka.
God, what do they call it here?
Okay. Kyle will find it. I'll go and
I'm on
find
it. It was a Lego thing. It was like Star Wars Lego episode.
It was the Lego holiday episode that came out this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
The one on Netflix?
No, it was on Disney.
Oh, was it? It was on Disney. It actually was really good. They do a really good job with those Lego Star Wars.
I love the Lego stuff. And the Lego games are amazing, but I love the Lego movies. Like some of my favorite Batman movies, like in my top.
Lego Batman?
Lego Batman is in like my top 3 favorite Batman movies.
I'll go with that. They're really well done.
Life Day. Call it Life Day.
Life Day. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've secured crates where they say 3 and 4, that leaves 2 left because there's 6 crates. And Tech goes, it's almost nighttime. And you see, or not Tech, Echo does. And then Tech's sitting there fiddling with something. He goes, I'm preparing for that possibility. Don't worry. So they send the straps back down. And you know what's bad when Wrecker is winded.
Mm-hmm.
These things must be heavy as hell, but notice Sid isn't. She's like, rest later, crates now. They're riding up on the crates, looking around. And Wrecker's just squirming. But ironically, Sid's the one who bumps into one of the mine carts that was hanging.
Good job,
and
Sid.
it goes falling. Good job, Sid. Get under poor Wrecker.
Yeah, wasn't even Wrecker's fault.
So
I love how you can tell, even though he's got his helmet on with his face mask, you can still kind of tell what his facial expression would be. Like
terror.
Well, yeah, when he's disappointed, when he's scared or whatever, it still sells through his helmet somehow.
The voice acting is just top notch by D. Bradley Baker. It really is. Next thing you know, here comes the swarm. And Wrecker's yelling, help me, help me, help me. And he's screaming. And Sid's like, watch the spice. And Tech goes, well, this should distract him. And he just throws it down. He's like, incoming. You'd think he'd go, cover your eyes. No, he's just like, here it comes.
I love how, like, when fight scenes where, like, so Wrecker, he does good against humanoid type things. Like, he's ready to kick ass. He's going to fight. He's going to punch or whatever. But icky things that you'd be like, this is an icky thing, because these are basically bats. And I think bats fall into the icky thing category. And he's all just like freaking out and flopping around. He doesn't do well with icky things.
No.
Or heights.
Well, that bomb scares them all off, and Wrecker's like, I'm okay. Next thing you know, you see the batch delivering the spice to the Pykes. And the Pyke goes, since the spice has been returned, the matter between us is resolved. And he says, but not with you. Over to Roland.
Bum, bum, bum.
And Omega's going with Ruby. They put Roland's head down on the ground, and they're Mexican crime syndicating it right now.
Yeah, he's about to get cartelled.
Yep, he's got his knife out. And what was it Omega said? He made a mistake, that's all. You know, don't do it. And Sid's like, you're right. Notice how Sid backs up Omega now.
A lot.
Like,
she's a little partial.
I think this goes beyond Omega making Sid money. I think she's actually partial towards Omega at this point.
Oh, definitely is. Definitely is. I think she's partial towards Omega and Wrecker more than any of them.
They're like, well, one's like her dumb son.
Mm-hmm.
And then one's, she just like, almost like grandmotherly to Omega, I think.
Yeah. I mean, everybody needs a drug smuggling, crime lord grandma figure in their life.
Why not?
Why not? Builds
Teach a
character.
trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here, shove this up your ass.
Learn a trade.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. We're smuggling cocaine today.
As long as it doesn't burst, you'll be okay. Oh.
Imagine Wrecker just walking all uptight. What's wrong, Wrecker? What's got up your ass? Nothing.
Can you imagine Wrecker if it burst and he just went on this huge bender?
Oh.
Going everywhere.
Oh.
Sid tells him, you know, kill him. Drugs are funny.
Space cocaine.
Kill him and you'll be starting a war with Issa Durand. And she's like, you know, do you want that heat right now? Just call it a bad deal and walk away. And the Pyke looks at her and says, we do not accept bad deals. And all of a sudden raises his knife up and slash.
Mm-hmm.
And Roland's like, ah, and they cut off a horn. So now he's got the chubs. He's got a half horn.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, consider our deal finished. It would not be wise to cross our paths again.
What do you think they're going to do with it? Like make a necklace out of it?
I believe we've all seen Futurama.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, the lower horn.
The Fry's lower horn. Well, they're going to try this because they don't know about the lower horn, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to grind it up. It's like pepper.
The main event, as you would say, is a little further to the south. Did you just spit Coke out all over your keyboard?
Almost. I caught it. You should, we should put that on our profiles.
What, the main event's a little further to the south?
Yes.
So to speak?
The main event is a little further to the south.
Yeah. Not too far.
Not too far. You don't have to look very far.
No, but you have to look hard.
We're Chris and Kyle, always ready.
Always ready. Dick jokes.
Ladies.
Ladies. Like, dick jokes come here once a week. Come twice. However often you want. Well, we've been doing two. I didn't mean that. We're doing 2 episodes a week. Or maybe, or that.
You didn't mean it, but it worked out well.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, son of a bitch.
That's great. We're right at the end of the episode.
We're so close to finishing without anything.
But here it is.
Come early, come often.
Come
There we
early,
go.
come often. Omega returns Ruby to Roland. She's like, are you okay? And Roland's like, it's a small price to pay.
Laughed if they would have. Have you ever seen like cattle get dehorned?
Yes.
I was waiting for him like to rub a little something on his nub.
Oh, no. Well, at least they didn't band his horn.
Ah, man, it takes forever to fall off.
Yes.
I mean, it goes numb first and then it falls off, but still.
Roland walks off. So I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Roland.
Nope. Especially because he said, this isn't the last you'll see of me.
Yes. No. Curse you!
Curses.
Curse you, goggles! Omega, this shows empathy again on Omega's part, how empathetic she is. That's why I kind of think she's force sensitive.
Sid, or I meant Sid, Omega is.
Omega, yeah.
I was
Could be
looking
wrong.
at
She
Sid
just
and
could
I
be
couldn't
just
separate.
great tactician, but
Mhm.
I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Roland. I think this is setting Roland up for a return either in 13, 14, or 13, or 14, 15, or 16, or next season, because they have announced season 2 already.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they've announced seasons 2 and 3.
Really?
I can't remember. I know they at least announced season 2.
Okay.
But Sid's like, come on, first round's on me. And Wrecker's like, you owe us more than that. And Sid's like, don't push your luck. And then Hunter's just, always there with Omega, puts his hand on Omega's shoulder, and they just kind of look at each other. And Hunter's like, why did you stick up for him after what he did? So Omega's kind of again, we've said this before, the conscience, the emotional part of Clone Force 13.
She's the Omega to their alpha.
She is the Omega, literally.
Because they're all alpha males.
And they are all alpha males.
And she's the Omega to their alpha. Like, it's the yin and the yang. It's the balance. We found a thing.
We found the balance to the Force.
Yeah, it was here the whole time.
And good one.
Dog's gonna be freaking out about something.
Omega has to explain why she does stuff with emotional thought to them. Because to them, they're soldiers. This is cut and paste for them.
Very black and
Omega's
white.
like,
not a lot of gray area.
No. Omega's like, I don't know. Ruby likes him. Maybe he's not all bad.
And we zoom out and fade away.
And cut episode.
So, thoughts?
I liked the episode. It wasn't my favorite episode, but it wasn't bad.
No. It did.
Again,
It had the filler feel.
Right.
I'm glad I watched it again, and like we kind of talked about it a little bit because one of my fears is the show becoming more episodic, and you know what I mean.
Instead of interconnected.
Yeah, something that you can just pick up at any time and watch it, and that's not what I want out of this particular show.
Right.
Like I want a full and complete story, how we started, and we're going to have an ending regardless of how it ends.
Right.
And there's certain shows that I like that you can just pick up whenever and watch them, and this is not for one of my all-time favorite series of anything. Star Wars stuff. I don't want episodic in Star Wars.
I see that. I'll agree with that.
I want a story.
Give me a story. I think they're setting up. I've just got this gut feeling they're setting up for something. Either Roland comes in to help them, because basically Omega saved Roland.
Yeah.
There's no basically. She did. She absolutely saved Roland.
If we don't see him again in this series, I believe we may see him maybe in Mandalorian, because he's young here. I think we'll see him pop up again as something new and do something based off of what we saw here. Like he'll help somebody or he'll do something good.
Right. And I don't know how long his species lives either.
I don't either. What do we say he was? I forgot his species already.
The durians. So
trying to look it up. We'll figure it out.
So with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. Wherever you guys are, have a good evening, morning, night, whatever time it is. Be good to each other and join the Discord. Hop in the conversations with us. Come hang out and chat, and come hang out and stream, whatever you guys want to, and help us keep pushing this thing forward, because we really enjoy doing it, and we hope that you guys like it.
And more word of mouth helps us, like Kyle's saying, get it out, and helps us grow the show. The more people we get, the more fun the discussions can get, the more successful this podcast can be. And without you all, we can't accomplish that. So we appreciate everything you all do listening to us. And real important too. By the time you guys listen to this episode, this will be out on Wednesday. We are back to original content for a while, until Hawkeye basically comes out, as far as I know. Or, we'll finish this up, and then we'll do a Nerkie off of a couple movies here and there, but nothing weekly, because there's no series out that we're going to do Nerkie on, as far as I know. But we will have the lovely Erica Clash on for the following Monday.
Yep. So that episode should drop. What are we thinking? The 2nd of August, a week from tomorrow.
Yep. That's
Yep.
that's what we're gunning for.
So you guys be ready for that one. It'll be fun. Good times.
It'll be something way different than anything we've ever done.
Mhm.
So, with that, thank you all very much. We'll see you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word.